Downstairs neighbor threatens me, so I remind them it's not a good idea to pick a fight with someone who controls your ceiling space. My downstairs neighbor Lisa is one of those people who thinks the entire apartment building revolves around her. Like, she'll blast her TV at 2 in the morning on a Tuesday, but if you sneeze too loud at noon, she's pounding on her ceiling with a broom. I've lived above her for 8 months and mostly just kept my head down. I walk around in socks. I don't vacuum after 8 p.m. I'm basically the quietest upstairs neighbor you could ask for, but Lisa still finds things to complain about. Last month, she left a note on my door that said, "Your footsteps are too loud. Walk softer." I'm a normal-sized person walking normally in my own apartment. What was I supposed to do? Tiptoe everywhere like a cartoon burglar? Anyway, last Tuesday, I'm out on my balcony doing this little craft project. I'm making a wooden sign for my mom's birthday. Just needed to hammer in a few small nails to attach the hanging wire. The whole thing would take maybe 10 minutes max. It's 6 p.m., still bright outside. Kids are playing in the courtyard. People are grilling on their balconies. Totally normal apartment activity time. I hammer in the first nail. Takes like 3 hits. I'm lining up the second one when I hear this door slam below me. I look over the railing and Lisa is storming out onto her balcony looking like she's about to explode. She starts screaming up at me. "What the hell do you think you're doing up there?" I told her calmly. "Just hanging a picture hook. I'll be done in like 5 minutes." But she's not listening. She's going off about how inconsiderate I am and how she works nights so she needs to sleep during the day. Mind you, it's 6 p.m. on a Tuesday. Even if she works nights, this is a completely reasonable time for normal apartment noise. I tried to reason with her. I said, "Lisa, I'm almost done. Just give me literally 5 more minutes." She starts yelling louder. "5 minutes? You've been hammering for an hour. I will come up there and beat your ass if you don't stop right now." An hour. I had hammered exactly 1 nail. I yelled back that I'd only been out there for 2 minutes, but she just kept going. She threatened to call the cops, said she'd have me evicted, called me every name you can think of. Other neighbors were coming out on their balconies to watch. I finished hammering my last 2 nails while she screamed at me from below. Took maybe another minute. The whole time she's losing her mind like I'm jackhammering concrete at 3 a.m. When I was done, I just went inside and shut the door. I was so mad my hands were shaking. I sat on my couch for a minute trying to calm down. That's when I looked at my subwoofer sitting on my TV stand, and I remembered something. My apartment came with this really nice sound system that the previous tenant left behind, and the subwoofer had always been on the TV stand because that's where it fit. But technically, you can put a subwoofer anywhere. I picked it up and moved it right to the floor, right in the middle of my living room, directly above where Lisa's bedroom probably was. Then I went into my sound settings and adjusted the bass. Nothing crazy, just made sure the subwoofer was getting a nice healthy signal. I pulled up my playlist and found this artist called Corpse. His music has this insanely deep bass that you feel more than hear. I set the volume to a very reasonable level, like I could still hear my phone ring over it. But the bass made my entire floor vibrate. I hit play at exactly 7 p.m. My couch was vibrating. My coffee table was doing a little dance. I could feel it in my feet when I walked around. It was honestly kind of relaxing, like a massage chair for your whole apartment. I played it until 10 p.m. when quiet hours started. Then I shut it off and went to bed. The next day at 7 p.m. I turned it right back on. I did this every single day for a week. Lisa didn't come screaming at me again, probably because she couldn't prove anything. The volume was reasonable. It was during normal hours. I was just enjoying some music in my own home. But here's where it gets better. See, Lisa smokes on her balcony constantly, and she doesn't use an ashtray. She just flicks her cigarette butts over the railing into the courtyard where everyone walks their dogs. I walk my dog there every morning, and I'm constantly pulling cigarette butts out of his mouth. The smoke also comes right up into my apartment whenever she's out there. I have to close all my windows and my balcony door, or my whole place smells like an ashtray. I never said anything because I'm not the kind of person who runs to the office over every little thing. But after that hammering incident, I figured all bets were off. I took a walk down to the courtyard and picked up like 30 cigarette butts, all right where she throws them. I put them in a plastic bag and took some photos of her balcony area covered in ash. Then I went to the leasing office. I told them about the smoking violation and the cigarette butts everywhere. I showed them my photos and the bag of butts. I mentioned that it's a poisoning hazard for the dogs and kids who play in the courtyard. The property manager looked horrified. Apparently they'd been trying to figure out who was leaving cigarette butts everywhere. Lisa got a $200 fine and a warning that if she did it again, she'd be evicted. I know this because I heard her screaming about it on her balcony to someone on the phone. The bass music continued until I got bored of my own joke about 2 weeks later. Lisa moved out 3 months later. The new downstairs neighbors are great.